product, yeah. Make you dey careful, no go damage your life. You've got one life to live.
Buy original.
You should know where to go. Na SOS.
Stiffer penalty awaits importers of life-endangering substandard products into the country as Standards Organization of Nigeria seek legislative support to deal with offenders. You're watching Standard and You. It's your guide to product quality and safety, brought to you by the Standards Organization of Nigeria, the SON. My name is Ifenyua Okonkwo, and it's my pleasure bringing the program to you. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the program.
Let's PAM it. What is PAM? PAM, Product Authentication Mark, is a new product launched by the Standards Organization of Nigeria to protect Nigerian consumers against fake and substandard products, to assure us all of genuine SON-certified products and guarantee value for money. So before you purchase any item, make sure you check for the PAM sticker. To PAM, send code to 281 or download SON PAM app on Play Store or iOS to scan QR code to authenticate the product. It is that simple. Before purchase of any SON-regulated product, PAM it. Standard Organization of Nigeria, improving lives through standards. For more information, visit www.son.gov.ng.
Thanks for joining us on the program. And we'll begin the program by telling you that those unscrupulous importers who flood our markets with life-threatening substandard products will get stiffer penalty for their wicked and selfish acts. This is because the Standards Organization of Nigeria is concluding arrangements aimed at reviewing its laws to protect innocent consumers of goods in the country. Director General of the Standards Organization of Nigeria, Malam Farouk Salim, who gave this indication in an interview with Standard and You in Lagos, said the move was part of SON's strategic plans to tackling the menace of substandard products in the country.
Very soon there's going to be a public hearing. We are at the public hearing stage right now. I'm looking at, hopefully the public hearing will be over, everybody will be happy with the rules, and then the National Assembly, before they close in June, will pass the upgraded SON Act, and then hopefully the president, before he leaves the office, can sign it. If it's not done in time, the new president is coming, he will sign it. So it's a continuum. The government doesn't stop. So we are working on it, and we are making sure that we follow all the rules, and the public is protected.
In another development, Mr. Solomon Oyumbo was arraigned at the Federal High Court in Ikoyi, Lagos, for adulterating Aidin lubricant. The suspect, who was arrested at the Aspanda Trade Fair International Market in Lagos, was arraigned before Justice Abimbola Awogboro on a 4-count charge for an alleged offense committed on the 11th of November 2022 in Lagos.
We are in court today for the arraignment of his defendant, who was arrested last week for the offense of adulterating, counterfeiting an engine oil, a popular brand of an engine oil. And after investigation, a prima facie case was made out against him, leading to the filing of a 4-count charge in court. And that's why we're in court. He was brought to court today. And in court, when the charge was read to him, 4-count charge, he pleaded not guilty.
The case was adjourned on the 5th of May 2023, while the suspect was remanded in 4th CID in Lagos.
Ẹ̀yin ènìyàn mi, ẹ kú kalẹ̀. Nígbà gbogbo tẹ́ bá ti fẹ́ ra irin ìkọ́lé lọ́jà, àwọn nǹkan mẹ́rin yìí ó ṣe pàtàkì fún yín láti ti mọ èyí tó jẹ́ ojúlówó. Àkọ́kọ́, orúkọ iléeṣẹ́ tó ṣe irin náà. Èkejì, ọjọ́ tí wọ́n ṣe irin yẹn. Ẹ̀kẹta, ó ní àlàjá irin yẹn, ó ṣe pàtàkì àlàjá. Fún àpẹẹrẹ, àlàjá eléyìí ní ó ní mìlímítà 10. Nítorí náà ẹ wò ó yẹ kó pé mìlímítà 10. Tó bá dẹ̀ rú yín lójú, ẹ lè sọ fún àwọn ọlọ́jà yẹn kó bá yín fi ẹ̀rọ kó fi wọ́n kò gbúdọ̀ dín ní mìlímítà 10. Ẹ̀kẹrin ni gígùn irin náà. Gígùn irin yẹn ò gbúdọ̀ dín ní mítà 12. Tí a bá ra ohun tó tọ́, a ní ohun tó dára. SON, ìtẹ̀síwájú ènìyàn nípa ìpéwọ̀n.
You're still watching Standard and your guide to product quality and safety. Stakeholders in the nation's building materials and construction industry have been charged to rise to the challenge to stem the tide of building collapse in Nigeria. Director General of the Standards Organization of Nigeria, Malam Farouk Salim, gave this charge at a 2-day workshop organized by the Nigerian Institute of Builders in Lagos. Standard and You was there. That was a scene of a collapsed building in Lagos last year. Available statistics put the number of cases of such unfortunate incidents at 221, with Lagos accounting for 60% of the total figure. Experts attribute the causes of building collapse to, but not limited to, use of substandard building materials and non-professional artisans, poor structural designs, and quality control measures. The impact of a building collapse is huge and more often leaves in its wake scores of dead bodies, damaged properties worth millions of naira. The focus of this gathering, comprising practitioners in the building and construction industry, was to explore ways of stemming the tide of building collapse in the country. It was an interactive forum that afforded participants the opportunity to examine challenges in the industry and prefer solutions.
How do we chart a new course in Lagos State? It starts from conception of that particular building. The foundation, is it the right foundation? Not to talk of, the buildability of that particular property or building. Not to talk of the finishing. And most importantly, we need to understand, when you say condition survey, for me, condition survey is what I can liken to in highways and transportation. We call it safety audit 4. And what do I mean by safety audit 4? That means, as built, you now need to go back there. What are the safety considerations even after it has been built?
We seem to be putting everything on government. We, as professionals too, should also look at our own ends of the bargain. When we talk about building collapses, in most of the narrative, everything goes back to the government. What about the professionals? It is important that the professionals also collaborate to make sure that whatever product comes out, they can be assured that no matter what happens anywhere, that they collaborate together, that in the build sector, with the outcome eventually becomes what we all desire.
For the Director General of the Standards Organization of Nigeria, Malam Farouk Salim, the frequency of collapse and attendant consequences was disturbing and one that requires urgent attention to stop buildings well constructed or under construction from going down.
Relevant agencies of the government, including the Standards Organization of Nigeria, have critical roles in the construction industry and to provide services required for sustainable shelter needs of Nigerians. SON is empowered by the provision of the Act 2015, relevant legislations to, among other things, develop and enforce standards to ensure the quality of products, facilities, materials, and systems throughout the country. In line with this mandate, the organization over the years has developed standards for all sectors of the economy, including the building sectors. There exist a number of standards for building materials, including cement, block, roofing sheets, iron rods for the use in construction sector.
He wondered why any serious builder will compromise on the quality of building materials as established in some cases and the influx of quacks in the industry.
Human disasters where we have a construction approved for a certain specification altered at the construction site at the whim of the contractor to do something different. A building that is supposed to be approved by professionals in the ministry to hold only 13 floors was probably arbitrarily converted to a 30-floor building to make more profit out of greed of some of the contractors.
Salim wants practitioners to work with the Standards Organization of Nigeria and enforce standards strictly to avert building collapse.
As professionals, I charge you all to ensure that material used in the building and construction meet the requirement of relevant standards. Also, the Institute, as a key player in building and construction sector, is to put measures in place to ensure that only competent personnel and artisans handle construction projects in the country. Also, we always appeal to both contractors, the builders, to look for quality signs of various regulatory agencies in materials and things you are buying. And also, we would like to appeal, of course, to our legislatures to come up with stronger rules of punishment for those who break these rules of using substandard products or breaking the rules of design and causing the hardship to individual, either materially or the cost of lives in the country. Because you hear a lot of collapsed buildings, but we rarely hear of convictions of those people who are guilty of these nefarious activities.
Stakeholders all agreed to evolve measures to check the activities of non-professionals in the industry.
Right now in Lagos, people are afraid to buy, rent, or live in high-rises. Why? Because of the collapses. I know, and if you don't tighten up your rules and regulations and you enforce and ensure that your members don't cut corners, it will eventually come to bite all of you, whether you like it or not.
The theme of the workshop was Building Surveying Practice and Procedure, charting a new course in building post-construction services in Lagos.
Let's PAM it. What is PAM? PAM, Product Authentication Mark, is a new product launched by the Standards Organization of Nigeria to protect Nigerian consumers against fake and substandard products, to assure us all of genuine SUN-certified products and guarantee value for money. So before you purchase any item, make sure you check for the PAM sticker. To PAM, send code to 281 or download Sun PAM app on Play Store or iOS to scan QR code to authenticate the product. It is that simple. Before purchase of any SUN-regulated product, PAM it. Standard Organization of Nigeria, improving lives through standards. For more information, visit www.sun.gov.ng.
Welcome back. The program you're still watching is Standard and You, your guide to product quality and safety. How many times have you replaced your bulb in your living room or bedroom or even your office where you're watching the program? Twice? 3 times? 4 or 5 times? Some others even lost count. It is a disturbing development that has continued to drain the pockets of many consumers. In this special report, we shall examine why these bulbs go off almost immediately after they are connected to electricity and how cheap are the various brands of the bulb. Please take a listen.
Adesua Eke is a middle-aged lady who lives in Lagos. Like many consumers, Adesua has had to replace her light bulb frequently.
Well, last week I bought a bulb, and as soon as I put on the switch, the bulb blew up. I had to go back again to get another one. I bought about 3 or 4 bulbs. And I'm praying this one will not even blow because it's annoying. It was just the first day I put the last one.
It's a disturbing experience that has continued to leave many consumers worried.
I've been wasting money on it, trying to, get a good one. I don't know where I can get a very solid bulb that will last me for at least months, if possible. Because this one have never even lasted me more than 2-3 days. I keep buying and, fixing, buying and fixing, buying and fixing. It's crazy. It's not making sense at all.
I bought a bulb that very day, and the bulb just burst. So there are situations like that. So I don't really know. Maybe the fault is from the manufacturing, or is the manufacturing, problem. I don't really know.
It was one time my husband bought about, was it not 3 or 4? The 3 of them just blew within a week.
It doesn't even reach 3 months. Within 3 days, 4 days, it's crashed.
All these ones they import from China or so. They don't last.
And some, the day you bought it just went off.
Before now, consumers were used to the incandescent light bulbs that consumes much energy. The introduction of what is today known as energy-saving bulb, that is compact fluorescent lamp and light-emitting diodes LED, led to the emergence of several brands of light bulbs in the market.
The 40 hours, 60 hours last longer, but the recent one they were doing, this white, that one does not really last, because sometimes almost every 2 weeks I buy a different one in my house.
Investigations reveal that the bulk of these energy-saving light bulbs are from Asia, especially China.
In this market, go around, you will not see any bulb being manufactured here in Nigeria, which means all these bulbs are imported. Some of these bulbs you can buy today, maybe in the next few weeks, the bulb blew. They will start acting. Is it the substandard that causes it? Is it the user that don't know how to use it? What really happened? Is it from the socket?
The bulb doesn't require that fluctuation in the light that goes on continuously. So that can affect the duration of the bulb.
Cable has to give power to the lamp product. Okay. So that's why I talk about some factors. Okay? You can't just talk about bulb 100% without acknowledging there are other things that helps the bulb to function effectively.
If you operate in an apartment where most of the time your current is always very low, it is likely it will damage the components in the CFL or the LED. And if it is also high, like people working on their generator and then increasing the speed of the generator, that will produce more voltage than the expected voltage, and that can also damage the component. If you looked at this, the CFL, like I said to you, is powered by this component that most people don't know. It's inside, buried in the base of the CFL. You see it here. And a lot of time you see capacitor, you see diode and whatever here. And if the current is too low, you discover that this will have a problem. And once it burns, the lighting part of this will still remain intact, but you discover once this is damaged, if you're able to repair the components here, you have your lamp back. But no one does that. Likewise for your LED, you have the driver, which is this. This also converts from AC to DC, and then it has a voltage range of operation. The challenge now is that if your voltage is too low, it will affect it. If it's too high, it will affect it.
Since most of the compact fluorescent lamp and light-emitting diodes are imported into the country, we decided to visit the popular Alaba Electronics Market in Lagos to establish why some of the dealers bring substandard light bulbs into the country.
I'm not a Chinese. I'm a Nigerian man. So when the Chinese are done with their own and they bring it here, we have to check by ourselves to know if it is what we have asked them to produce, so that we can now call them back and tell them, this is how you do it. You can improve on this, maybe the packing, or you can improve on the strength, or even the power of the energy-saving lamps.
The price of the energy-saving bulb ranges from 200 to 1,000 naira, depending on the brand and size. A cheap one, you may say. But how cheap is the product considering the fact that you have to replace it less than 24 hours after the time of purchase.
They don't care about the price. Like I'm selling one piece of my bulb 500, 600 naira. But customer would prefer that of 200 naira, 150 naira. When you are telling him, look, this one has a special quality. The duration, the durability, the brightness is there. Many customers, they don't care.
When you are buying fake something, you buy it 10 naira. Tomorrow it's spoiled, come back and buy another 10 naira. But somebody who buy the original one 30 naira, it might last for him more than 3 weeks or 3 years. You buy 10 naira, or you take how many you have bought in a year, it will supersede that person that have bought the original one. And it save you energy. Imagine yourself come to Alabe every week to buy bulb. Don't you have another thing to do?
Trying to save money, in the other hand, the person will as well spend more than what he would have saved before time.
These unscrupulous importers are no doubt driven by the resolve to make quick cash at the expense of the innocent consumer. A situation which the Standards Organization of Nigeria has continued to put measures in place to change to ensure that consumers get value for their money.
We have existing standards. We have 2 standards, one on safety of the bulb itself, and then one talks about the performance of the bulb. This is supposed to last you for 3,000 hours, while that is for continual use close to more than 3 years. And this will take you as much as 10,000 hours, the LED. The LED lasts longer than the CFL. This standard specifically gives information on what is expected, like I told you about the voltage range of operation, because in drafting that standard, we take into consideration the voltage fluctuation you get in Nigeria. So we specify that anybody bringing in bulb into this country, the bulb must be able to accommodate voltage variation from 100 to about 290. And so that is very critical for us because we know the components in it are sensitive to voltage fluctuation. So our standards specify that. So people, and they will tell you that it will cost a little bit more to design the one that will accommodate that such voltage variation. So they will rather design the one that will not do that much and make it cheaper than somebody that will do it and then it will be a little bit on the high side, but it will last you longer.
According to engineer Richard Adewumi, who was until his recent redeployment the head of the agency's electrical department, SON has made several seizures worth millions of naira over the years.
We discussed with all our state offices in all the 36 states and including Abuja, and then we asked them to take sample of all the CFL and LED in the market, send it to the lab, and then we're using that as a survey so that we looked at it and be able to know, what brand of bulbs do you have in the market now, which ones are good, which ones are no good. But over time, we also realized that most of the CFL and LED that are coming from China come from sometimes about 20 brands could come from a single factory. All they do is just check the packaging. So the moment you have a failure in one, every other one that comes from that factory will have the same problem. And so we're using our pro-registration also so that we can ensure that anybody that wants to bring in this product to Nigeria is known by us, so that if eventually we have problem with any of them, we can trace back to whoever imports that product.
Engineer Adewumi wants Nigerians to report cases of failed light bulbs to the agency, adding that it is one sure way to help SON check the distribution of unregistered brands in the market.
When you are buying a CFL on LED, I would advise you not to buy by the roadside. Go to an established shop where if you have issue, you can also lay consumer complaint. And for those shops, you discover that a lot of them also have a better quality bulb. But what you get there is that the price can be a little bit on the high side. But when you get it from the roadside, you get it cheaper. And it is because what has been put into it is not the quality that will give you the expected life of a normal CFL or LED.
While the agency will continue to find new ways of cleaning our markets of substandard light bulbs and other products, Nigerians, he stressed, must join the war against substandard products by insisting on getting value for their money.
If you want to buy bulb now, there are some energy bulb of 20 watts, for example. They will tell you the price is 600 naira. There are some energy bulb of the same wattage you can buy at 100 naira, 120 naira. Common sense will tell that something different is here. Yeah. So, but sooner or later, we will not, when you talk about bulb now, you say AKT, we know where to get the AKT. If you buy AKT and find the fault, you tell AKT, we will go to AKT. Jam. So we want to know the bulbs. Those that don't have registered name, we will not agree for them to enter this market. Just give us time.
We will be sharing 5 standard tips on the light bulb. Buy SON certified energy saving bulbs. They consume less energy and emit brighter light. Position your bulb correctly and snap it firmly into the socket so it doesn't come out if the socket overheats. Pay attention to the recommended maximum watts and bulb shape for your lamp so you don't damage the fitting or bulb. Turn off the light switch before replacing your bulb and let the bulb cool. Never change a bulb with your bare hands. Wear protective gloves and guard yourself from broken glass or a hot bulb. Many thanks for joining us on today's edition of your program Standard and You. Join us again next week, same time, same station. Please enjoy the rest of the week. Bye.
Why you dey buy fake product, make you dey careful, no go damage your life. You've got one life to live. Buy original. You should know where to go.